Good morning. Good morning. Truth Disclosure 369 in the house once again. Hopefully, everyone is well. Um, going about their daily activities in the right state of mind. Just wanted to get on here for a little bit, share my little opinion on some of the craziness and they're still affecting everybody right now. Those that are aware, and then those that aren't aware, and maybe those that are aware of it but just not just want to deny it is even happening. But just wanted to get on here today and just share a few little things. Not gonna be on that long. I hope everyone is well. Before I get started, as I do all the time, I greet everybody who may come across this video in the greeting word of peace, um, which is something that more and more gets talking with people. More and more people just want peace. Peace. Period. Peace. There's nothing else to even try to equate with it. Just want peace. Everybody in their right mind, when you go through and you look definitions up and you visualize what peace means, understand what peace is about and what that brings. And for some reason, we just can't get that. So I just want to get on here and point out a couple of things. You know, it's crazy because each day this shit is matter of fact, Midnight the Battle Cat, he's in the area, he's behind me somewhere. But it's just ridiculous what's going on. And people aren't seeing it for what it is. I'm always um happy and joyous when you see people breaking that shell and starting to say and speak and point out shit that just, hey man, come on. Before I get started, though, I'm gonna go to this article here because, as we know, we are still in the middle of this crap with Trump. Uh, this, about the raid at Mar-a-Lago and all this crap. So let me go in and I'm gonna start off with this. First off, while people continue to trust into the mainstream media narratives and all this garbage, they act like they really trying to point out. And this, we can go to this Politico, which Politico is a corporate owned brainwashing news site as well. Documents recovered at Mar-a-Lago were among government's most classified. So the push to make it seem, which it may have been, the push to say that mostly all of the documents that Donald Trump had at Mar-a-Lago were all classified material, which totally is makes it wrong for a person who is not in the status of holding an office anymore, having these things. And so now this big deal, they're coming out with all these fucking analysts and all these talking heads talking about how much they did with this shit. And I don't even like going through it because it's bullshit. I don't believe nothing these folks say. And that's just me. Everything they come out with, there's always, even in these stories, it's dealing with the raid and the FBI on Mar-a-Lago. Out of 100% of the total process that took place through all that shit, and then the coverage, and then what comes out in the media, you have to understand that a small percentage of that shit is based on fucking truth. And that's all around the board because these motherfuckers know the reality of when you look at this. And then when you go straight, I'm gonna go straight to another one. When you go back a few years ago, now this is from 2016. The same shit, the same fucking bullshit. Hillary's team copied intel off top secret server to email. And then we go into the whole thing about she deleted 33. This was the whole running story that Trump was running. She deleted all these emails that had information that dealt with the attack at the embassy in Libya, in Benghazi, and which people were killed, and because the investigation that was going on in time, and that all the materials, everything that needed to be brought forth, to try and get a better understanding of how that happened. Supposedly that was supposed to be the case, and then when that was going on, all of a sudden, Hillary's team decided to send some documents, and some got deleted. So that was a smoking gun there. No different than the shit that they doing with Trump, man. It's like this back and forth shit. It's hard to understand how people sit up here and continue to fall on one of these sides, man. When you look at this side, when you look at all this information, you're looking at straight up liberal and democratic agendas. When you look at this and that past administration into the present administration, this is the shit they don't want to look at. This is the shit they don't want to talk about. And in return, they keep all of this shit, focused on Trump and this mega movement and all this other shit. Now you have Republicans who are trying to blast Trump and trying to get people to come on board to conservative without the mega and Trump shit. And it's like, people don't get it. All this shit is happening to show how corrupt both of these fucking parties are. Trump, and I've said this before in the past, but it's just amazing how they come out every day with this shit. Like, okay, Trump had classified materials, but what about that shit? What happened to that? And many more, the shit that didn't happen that they don't want to talk about. So what's the difference? Well, how can you keep literally going into a hold on 1 minute. How can you keep going back and forth on issues that literally one side is trying to point the finger to another side, and they literally are doing the same fucking shit but because of a person's or institutions or they are involved with, or whatever movement they're involved with, because of that movement, they want to keep turn, toward turn away from that truth and keep this narrative up, so that people that's following these movements will only look at that shit and not turn and see that, fuck, this is the same shit we trying to call out. We trying to call the same shit out. Us people who call it, who follow Hillary and their Democratic or liberal approach to shit, in this administration or whatever, it's the same shit. We're sitting up here bashing, calling out Trump and what he did and what's going on, but yet we are still doing this shit. We're still not talking about all the corrupt and all the bullshit that's still going on right now, even in this administration. This shit they don't even want to touch with Biden and Hunter Biden and all this shit. They don't even touch it. They don't want to touch it. While they keep pointing the finger to lead this way, and Trump and all his fake glory is leading all his Trumpers or people that believe Trump is God, and that he's going to bring the end to all this corruption when all he's doing is showing how corrupt the shit is, because he's corrupt. He's been corrupt. Corrupt people have helped him get into the arenas he in right now. And you honestly think this man gonna go against the same fucking, and I've heard people bringing this shit up, and it's literally what I have been standing on, that this man has never been about people. All this shit that he's talking and all these folks that's feeding into it because, he's speaking on the corruption in that party or over here or over there and bringing jobs back, shit that people want to hear. But this man is doing this shit. That's literally what he was bred for. To tell the people what they want to hear, just like all these other motherfuckers. And then when it comes down to it, that's a different story. This motherfucker is doing the same exact shit. So he was calling out Hillary and all the corruption. But if you look at the 40 years this fool was in office, look at all the corruption that no different than the years before him, the years after. So what's the point? What's the fucking difference? All this shit is fucking corrupt. And people gotta understand that shit. You know, I pray that the wisdom will befall people to a point that these so-called officials are leading this country into a disaster zone, dealing with the policies they're putting out that's going to be infringing on everybody, that people will see this shit for really what it is. And that's my prayer all the time. So you got this man doing all this shit, coming out saying they're doing this, the FBI. Oh man, you ain't gotta. In my thing, you ain't gotta say the FBI is this. A lot of us already know that shit. But it's crazy that people sit here and they go in this back and forth shit and don't even understand that, man, damn. Same shit. So while they're doing all this back and forth, plenty of other shit happening. Let me get up out of here. You got flooding, still droughts, and all over the planet is feeling the effects of this constant this what do you call anomalies with the weather and everything, and it's ridiculous. It's getting crazy. It's getting crazy. It's getting crazy. So that is some crap that I just can't continue to I gotta keep saying something about it, because it's like, I don't know why people don't understand that the shit that you're screaming about is basically the same shit that's going on within the same thing that you're representing. To the T, willing to argue other people down and willing to try and finger point shit that, oh yeah, this is what we have done, and this and that, all this and all this and all this and all this shit. But they don't want to finger point the shit that this is also what has been done that is also affecting people negatively. And many of it is from people who don't need to be affected by nothing negative no more, but people continue to bank on this shit, and it's like it's the same stuff. Same stuff. The same fucking shit. This crap with and I'm gonna go to this because to me this is this is embarrassing. Because why would a person in their right mind put themselves in a situation like this? But I gotta say it because to me it's hypocrisy, and it's straight up bullshit. So let me go to this, and this has been all on fucking mainstream media news, the big deal. But I just want to just show how pathetic this shit is to me. Yeah, I'm sorry. Other black folks that may not agree, whatever. But that's how you feel. That's how you feel. I ain't riding with shit because I'm black. I ain't riding with shit because I happen to be a black man and motherfuckers that's other people that's black people feel that a motherfucker supposed to roll. No, this shit is not right. So I want to get on this shit. Dennis Rodman said he's going to Russia to seek release of Britney Griner. Why would a person take it upon themselves to put themselves in the limelight like this? I get, some say for publicity or whatever, but to put out this whole notion, fuck the individual, the notion of doing something. Now, it's already facts that this lady, Britney Griner, who's a WNBA star, got sentenced for 9 years for breaking international laws when it comes to Russia and going into that country with illegal substances or whatever, and then you get found with it. And so now you broke a law, and I don't get it. Where people think that just because you are who you are, you think you can go anywhere across the planet to other countries and shit, and just break their laws just because you are American or whatever, because you are black, because you are white, because you are this star, because you are this, have this title or whatever. You got people who have titles that what are they uh diplomatic immunity. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But why would a person what makes that what makes that any what makes this puts any legitimacy around somebody going to bat on somebody's behalf who knowingly did wrong, and because of it, uh, they have to be held responsible and accountable for what they did. No different than a Russian come over here and did anything that was breaking laws coming into this country, violated them. They were charged with it, found guilty, and then they had to do some time or whatever. No, that's no different than somebody from Russia, because of somebody who's of high stature or celebrity or somebody saying, "Oh, I'm about to go to America and petition for this person who broke American laws to just get off scot free, and bring them back home, you know, no accountability, nothing. I mean, just nothing. That's fucked up. And not only that, why would why would a person even want to do some shit? If you're gonna do it, then do it for people who legitimately need somebody to speak for them. Look at all the people that's probably locked up in Russia or other places. If you're gonna speak out for her, speak out for the rest of them folks who did the same shit. I don't understand that, man. It's like people's priorities and shit are simply about doing hypocritical shit, straight up hypocrisy. You know, that if you are part of if you are a group that, if you are part of a standard in society, if you making over this much, or you are part of this clique or part of that clique, then you're worth doing that to. But anybody else, oh, fuck it, they'll sit and rot. Just even for the guys that military people that's over there that been accused of being spies and all this other shit. Who knows if that's true or not? But the whole point is, where's the people that's supposed to be? If you're gonna demand somebody back for breaking a law in that country, then where's the demand for these folks who you have no proof on none of that shit, and you just sitting up here going off of what being said, but you have no proof. Where are the people that's going over there speaking on behalf of those? Like that, it makes no sense to me. To me, it's embarrassing, because it makes it look like, to me, it makes it look like a lot of people been saying, it's unfortunate, but it makes it look like, oh, because she's black and because she's lesbian, then we gotta go over here because of this fake woke shit and this whole thing, like um what's good for me is not good for thee, and all that shit. What rules apply for me don't apply to thee, and all that type of shit. And that's sickening. I don't understand how people keep realizing that shit ain't doing them but tearing up everything that has been laid down. The legitimate parts of it, the good intentional parts of it. That shit been tearing everything down. All this favoritism shit, all this, all that shit. That shit gotta be called out. And it gotta be called out for what it really is. Black folks gotta understand, just because you know, it may be centered around somebody that may be black. It don't mean that that shit they doing is fucking right. And that's what's happening to them was wrong. I don't, you know, and vice versa. If it may be a white person, if it may be a Latino or Asian person, whoever, motherfuckers gotta stop that shit, man. This woman went over there, man, knowing damn well what the fuck she did because she knew, because she already know the rules of that country. It ain't like this was her first trip. She been knowing this shit, man. And yet, because she did wrong, because of that shit, and then she got caught up, she got caught slipping. Now, everybody over here wanting to secure her release. Now the talks are starting about releasing the other guys, the ex-military folks and all that. Why? Because of somebody who went over there doing some shit they would participating in shit they wasn't supposed to be doing, got caught slipping, and then now it's, you know, oh, we got to get her out. We got, man, that shit makes no sense, man. A lot of times I'm embarrassed, man, to even you know, I'm a black man, and before that I'm a human being. So, you know, before a person even start claiming all these racial epithets and shit, the motherfucker has to understand that you all are human beings, all come from all created by God, all created by the Almighty God. And to sit here and as a black person, to see some of the shit that some black people run around and parade and think is cool, yet they don't see the hypocrisy, they don't see the bullshit behind it. Some do, but a large amount, they just get caught up in this shit and, well, she need to come home. They need to bring her back. Why? Why? Why should they? She went over there and broke the law. Why? If I went over there and broke the law, I'd be sitting back going through the same shit. But I guarantee I probably wouldn't have all these heads of states and these celebrities and washed up sports people and all this shit speaking on my behalf, which I know is a lot of people that's probably going through shit like that, not only in Russia or other countries that have done shit, and you got motherfuckers sitting up here willing to back shit like what happened was wrong, and that's totally, man, fucked up. And I had to get that shit out, man, because when I saw that shit, it's like that all that is excusing wrongdoing because of who you are. That's all that is. Black folks want to be excused for wrong shit they do, and then scream racism, or if it had been this person, they wouldn't have done that shit. If it had been this person, if it had been, you know, that whole little motherfucking narrative there has twisted and distorted a lot of people's thoughts, including mine. Got to be able to call that shit out and for what it is, and kind of try and what you would say, change your way of thinking or perceptions on things, so you can try and prevent shit like that from happening in the first place. So we won't be in a situation where we like this. But that's just how I feel about it. Just totally, to me, it's embarrassing. It's almost like, you know, motherfuckers want to talk that shit about black achievement and all that shit. Like every black leader, every black person that brought something to the table to uplift you know, this African American community throughout history or whatever. It's like those that passed, those that are no longer here. It's like, come on, man. If they was around, they would be so embarrassed, so ashamed of some of the things that black people are. One minute they're screaming for this and justice and all this shit, and at the same time they doing the most hypocritical shit that can be thought of. And like I said, it's not just centered with black people. It's with everybody. But the tribes, all these tribes that have been taught to fight one another and argue and beef and enslave and treat people with disrespect and all this shit gotta stop. It's gotta stop. In order for shit like this to even stop parading around the news, because they gonna parade that shit. They ain't gonna talk about how hypocritical, maybe a few conservatives or so-called Republicans, whatever, just trying to call out some shit because you know, they want to vote. No, this you be calling that shit out because it's just not morally right. It's just morally right. Morally not fucking right. It's crazy. So let me get up out of here. I had to go into that, man, because that shit there, man, it's ridiculous. It is fucking ridiculous that, it's like a bunch of grown children in the world right now who are fighting for their particular you know uh positions, and they're going, and then you look at it like right now, it's like a lot of grown adults in the world. I know I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of the fucking bullshit. And I've been doing everything in my power to try and remove myself from that frame of thinking, because it's leading to an ultimate conclusion, which a lot of people, which is needed really, and a lot of people ain't ready for. But at the same time, uh, uh, it is needed because folks need to know what's really behind all this shit, and that's just real talk. And then we got stuff like this going on, with all of the craziness that's happening in country. You gotta understand that it's still stuff going on out country, and what is really going on. Europe is facing its worst drought in 500 years, EU agency says. Now this, Europe been getting hit over the last couple of months. Spain had been having shit going on. Anytime you're dealing with drought, you're dealing with the absence of water that is needed, as you see here, not only for the wildlife, even though wildlife had a better chance at finding more water, but also human beings, the population, the masses of people. It puts an immense hardship on the water supply, on the treatment plants and all that shit, because now you don't have the water that used to come in. That's real shit. That's shit that's also happening over here in this country. Why people are thinking that, oh, ain't nothing really going on, but it's all type of shit happening, across the planet, and dealing with the weather, anomalous stuff that's been happening with the weather. And I'm gonna go to this real quick. Let's see what else Europe got going on. So let's go to this, because Europe is also in the light too when it comes to troubles going on in with them and their governments, their leaders doing shit. Of course, following suit with a lot of these so-called conspiratorial groups like the WEF that a lot of people think is phony, and it's just but yet you hear more and more of them every day. You see more and more of their representatives speaking, uh, drowning out the folks that supposedly people elect. So I mean, you tell me. I don't know. I mean, I know, but I mean, shit. It shouldn't be. I mean, it's to me, it's obvious. So it gets hard to try and explain or point that out to people who really haven't they haven't come to grips with the obvious yet. You want them to, but within time. So Forex euro falls to 2-decade low as energy crisis bites, because uh there's the market, the stock shit and all that stuff in Europe has also been crashing and falling. They are in the middle of an energy crisis as well, all over Europe. They blame it on the Ukraine. They blame it on the pandemic or whatever, but the fact is it's happening. Real shit that's happening. Um, in real time. And a lot of the stuff that a person be talking about, arguing about, and bringing up and shit. Like, come on, man, that shit there ain't got. It seemed like the motherfuckers should be had their energy more focused on the stuff that's happening. This destroying livelihoods, it's destroying property. That's coming out of no. Folks don't even have the infrastructure together because all of it has been falling apart over the years. Now, with shit getting worse, they want to rush out here and try to act like they doing something to prevent this shit, especially with a fucked up budget. But yet they keep getting all this money to do all this other shit. It's just ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. There was something else I wanted to go to. It was something else. But hopefully what's happening, continue to awaken some people. It's crazy. And of course, I'm gonna go to this stuff that happened yesterday. In Dallas down there. I send every time I hear shit about that, I just send people love. I send people love all across the planet, man. I'll tell you, it's a lot of stuff at play. That I'm gonna share this, then I'm gonna go to one more thing, and then I'm gonna get ready to get up out of here. But we've seen a lot of this. It's ridiculous. But let me go to it and start sharing. And this is, of course, the flooding that happened in Texas. Uh, within 14 inches of rain, 15 inches, some say fell, and within a short period of time, something similar to how in June of last year, when all that rain hit Detroit and people, flooded a lot of areas, had stuff standing. Now, I don't know which was worse. It was kind of bad. And, when people had all their basements, I know I've seen the shit, seen it. But this right here, when you're actually seeing cars and stuff submerged, and then people standing on the side of the hold on, let me go to when you see people standing on the side of shit, man, of the world. Now, all this is from Dallas. This is all what just happened yesterday. That's crazy. Take your pick. Let's go right here. That is crazy. People gotta ask themselves, what's the deal? Oh, it's the end of the world. It's all this stuff. People throwing shit out here. It's the you don't know what they're talking about. But this is what's going on. Now, when you see water up to the side of a Sprinter van, and look at that car, this is shit that's happening in this country. You never want none of this shit to happen to nobody, but when it does, damn, man. The reality of it, a lot of people, let's look at this one. Another picture. Woo! That's wow. To a point, people had to get out their cars. People were being rescued. This is serious shit. Real shit. It's happening. People losing their property, all the damage. Well, all the shit that's going on with the economy and all the policies that these sorry fake motherfucking so-called leaders, I ain't never left that fucking frame of mind. But all that shit, they don't give a fuck about what's happening. I'm telling you now. I don't give a fuck how much they scream FEMA and all this shit. These folks don't care about none of this shit. It's crazy, man. So before I get off of here, I just wanted to share that, we gotta be still paying attention to what's going on, other than the shit that these fake ass media services keep showing shit that the whole Trump and the Biden and all this bullshit. Man, there's other stuff going on that's truly affecting people. Not only are these folks part of that, the reason why people are being affected the way they are being affected. It takes a point in time where motherfucker need to call the shit out. Call it out. Stop being scared of what other motherfuckers think. Stop being scared of what the institutions think, because the institutions are the ones guilty. You gotta call their fucking ass out. But this is it, man. This is crazy. Wow. So before I get off of here, I'm gonna just go back to that one article. I'm gonna go back to this one right here. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take it to right here. I wanted to show this because show you how fake Google is. how they lie, and people don't even really understand how they lie and how they do shit even on Google. A motherfucker had to show me this. I think I spoke on this a while back. But every time you Google something, when you go on Google, you see about 80, you see this right here under there. It always will say supposedly how many results it should be. So when I put this up here, Hillary Clinton classified doctor. So we all know the conspiracies, the bullshit, the agendas, the the perception coming from the Democratic side, how they want us to look at it, the mainstream media, and we know the perceptions of how Republicans and conservatives or the mega party, Trump and all them, now let's look at this. Now you see on here, it says that right there, that there should be 80,000 results. 80,000 results. So when you go down to Google and you go, okay, well let's first of all, let's go through this. So when you look at all of the stories, why the Trump search warrant is nothing like Clinton's emails. As the FBI comes under threat, his leader tries to stay out of the fray. Trump associates stated plan to publicly release. Citizen Trump may have broken a law that president, such and such. Ex-official who investigated Clinton reacts to documents found in Trump's home. Of course, he went on to say it was a nothing burger. It's nowhere near of important. But how is documents that a person supposedly deleted off emails that may had information that brought a light to what happened in Benghazi? How, I don't see how that would be considered light, but that's how it is. FBI search signal major escalation in Trump presidency. Let's go to 2. So you still got page 2 of about 80,000 results. 13 races to watch in Florida. Trump's behavior strengthened case against him. Trump took White House records. Is that the same as Hillary's? Now let's go to 10. What does it still say? And let's look at the dates too as we get in here. Okay. Now we all the way in the result 10 of about 80,000 results, mind you. So we go into 2018, got some dates, 2016. I like to be president, but no desire to run again, 2018. Trump on Clinton emails, 2016. Of course, I had to be a fact check shit. All these fact checkers are bullshit. They're liars. Now we at 10. Let's go to 19. Let's go all the way to the end. Okay. So we got page 19 of 80,000 results. So we go 2015. Hillary Clinton scandal deepens. Department of Justice investigating James Comey over, of course, the Hillary Clinton emails. That's 2020. So hold on a minute. I went to 19, so let's go to 20. Let's go all the way down. 20, page 20 of about 194 results. How does that happen? How do you go from 19 of 80,000 results to page 20 of about 194 results? All this shit is a sham. And I hope people begin to see. I give all praise, glory to the creator for allowing people to wake up, for those people who have been on the scene that people used to laugh at, talk shit about, joke about. And, used to think people were weird, but people were actually sounding the alarm on how a lot of this fake shit is causing people to actually be headed toward destruction instead of upliftment, enlightenment, and evolution. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. So Google, those who constantly trust Google, yeah, Google this, Google that, yeah, it comes in handy here and there, but just know they're liars. They're not, and they're not gonna put anything in those results that's gonna have anything that's gonna be objective to the narrative. And you could bet that and when you go through some shit and you see 80,000, a million results and all, and it's a high topic subject, you're not going to see all those results. So with that, man, I just wanted to get on here and share a little something. About to get off of here. Did my little rambling for the day, and I'm gonna take it on in. So I hope people continue to look at things with an open mind and just see the madness for what it is. And hey, maybe when as people begin to awaken, we can begin to change this shit. Maybe a lot of people just probably sitting back already had their feelings on certain shit, but the fear in society of you can't do shit because you got other people judging you and this and that and third. People will literally tell on other people if you literally not thinking the way they're thinking and or accepting shit that they accepted, but because you don't accept it, then you got to be a threat to well-being, everything. And that's sad to say that shit, but hell, the shit that's been going on, these fake ass folks in so-called power and all this shit, everybody's well-being has been hit. And so it's, all that shit should have been, all that energy should be toward these institutions and all that stuff that's been causing in the first fucking place. But, I digress. But I just like to say I send love, peace to all those who may come across this video and those who don't. I send it every day that people may see stuff. Everybody I come across, we resonate on some things, and some things we don't. But there's a conclusion that we agree to disagree. There's shit going on that folks need to wake up to. And just pray that everybody continue to have a peaceful day and a week. And we move forward into truth and disclosure and everything else that needs to be done for people to truly be free. That's how I look at it. Not free to fuck over people but truly be free to have the information that is needed to be free. Because this is what it is, an information war. Motherfuckers think they free. We are not free. When you don't have all the shit that you need to assert your freedom in a world which the creator has placed us in, we were created for a reason. Gotta understand, man, it's shit that go with that. And why would we not be free? And what would be the whole agenda behind keeping human beings or keeping people stuck? So with that, thank you for coming around, checking the page. Pray for peace. And I believe it's coming. Change is coming with the wind. So with that, I greet you as I came, the greeting words of peace.